In this video, we will address frequent stuck brush fault or error that happens even though you have cleaned the brush and brush drive mechanism. One of the reasons this occurs is due to the bearing end of the brush not being able to spin freely due to hair and other debris becoming caught within the bearing assembly. This tutorial should cover several brands of robot vacuums and may vary slightly from this procedure. The brush depicted in this instructional is from a Eufy brand Robovac. To begin, you will need to remove and clean the brush from your vacuum. You will also need a hammer, a punch, and a socket. You can substitute other tools and objects if you don't have listed tools at your disposal. The bearing assembly needs to be removed from the brush. I was able to pull mine off with my fingers. It is held in with a spline shaft. If it is difficult to remove, you can gently use a pair of pliers to pull the bearing assembly straight off the brush. Once the bearing assembly is off the brush, set the brush aside and prepare to drive the spline shaft out of the plastic bearing housing using the punch, hammer, and socket spacer. Take note of how the pin was installed in the bearing assembly so that you can replace it properly. Once the pin is out, you can now use the punch or other tools to dig out all of the accumulated hair and debris from the bearing housing. An unbelievable amount of debris came out of mine, as you can see here. When you have removed everything that you can, reinstall the pin into the bearing assembly. Only drive the pin in until it is flush with the bearing, as seen here. To check your work, hold the bearing assembly in your fingers and spin the bearing. If it freely spins, you have properly cleaned and reassembled your parts. Reinstall the bearing assembly onto the brush and replace the brush back into your vacuum. Hopefully, your vacuum will now run like new. If this video has helped you, please like and subscribe, and happy cleaning.